Today we'll be adding our Windows Server 2008 to our domain. So let's get started. First thing we do select is Add Roles. Here we'll be guided to our wizard, which will basically help us in the setting up of our domain. We select Next. Here we want to select Active Directory Domain Services. This will basically what we'll be using in order to set up our domain. Select Next once again. Next again. And here we'll select Install, which will basically install our Active Directory for us. The installation of the Active Directory services tend to take a little while, so we'll be waiting on the installation to be completed. Here now, we like to click this blue link, which basically is we close this wizard and launch the Active Directory Services installation wizard. We'll now be guided to the Active Directory Services domain wizard. Here we'll begin the actual configuration of the domain. So we'll select Next. This window shows us basically the capabilities of the Windows Server 2008 NT. Next, we'll be guided to a window which asks us if we want to use an existing domain or create a new one. We'll create a new one and select Next. We are now required to create a name for our domain. So I'll be entering Hassan.com and I'll click Next. It will now check to see if this domain name already exists. If not, it will set it up for us. We have now arrived at a critical aspect of the setup in which we'll be selecting the version and the system which will be connected to the domain. We need to select the appropriate system, otherwise if we select the wrong one, it will not function in the domain. I will select Windows Server 2008 and press Next. We now see the domain name server. I select Next again. It talks about the delegation of the domain name services server. I select Next and continue the setup. I'll want to keep the original default settings. Now we are required to create a password. A password must have a capital letter, a special character, and a number. So I'll be entering password, and I'll be retyping the same thing at the bottom here. Next. I select Next again, and basically gives us a summary. And we're waiting for the domain name server installation to finish. With the setup being completed, we are now going to click Finish. And we must restart the system in order for the settings to come into effect. So we restart the system and wait for the restart of the system. Alright, so we once again want to log on to the system by pressing Ctrl Alt Delete. As we can now see, our profile carries our domain name /administrator. So now I'll enter the password and review the desktop settings now. And now the system has booted. We'll now want to go into the start menu. and select networks. Now we can see Hassan server. Now the workgroup has now changed from workgroup to our domain name Hassan with all the. We're now going to add our Windows Vista machine to the same domain Hassan.com. So we select start. We right click computer, we go into properties. We scroll down and we go to change settings. We select continue. Here we see our workgroup. Currently name is workgroup and we're in our workgroup settings. So we want to change the domain. We select the domain and we type the domain we want to add the system to, which is Hassan.com. We select OK. For the username, we type administrator. And for the password, we have to retype the password at the domain, which originally I placed as password. And I select OK. So we're just basically waiting on the settings to take effect on the system. This will take just a couple of seconds, so we're waiting. And there we go. Welcome to Hassan.com domain. So we select OK. And this will also require you restart the system. So we select OK. And I'll close down these windows. And I'll restart the system. We'll now press Ctrl Delete. Here we can see that the Windows Vista system has been added to the domain. It now carries the name Hassan Vista / the domain name Hassan. I never placed a password on the system, so I'll just press enter to get into the system. We now want to go into the start menu. Select network. In order to see the system connected to the domain, we have to turn on network discovery. I right click in, select continue. And we can now see the two systems that are on the domain, which is the Windows Server 2008 and the Windows Vista. Now we go into My Computer, Properties, and we're going to change settings. Continue once again. And we can now see the Windows Vista system has been added to the workgroup Hassan.com.